G'day and welcome to JD's DefenderCam, episode 3. In this episode I'm going to show you how to pull out one of these from your vehicle and basically check to see whether it's any good. So what I've done first is take off the front grille to get more access to there, and what I wanted to do is take off this whole piece. Now down in there, this bolt comes undone, but on the other side, the same one, it's been slipping, so I might not be able to pull it off with great ease, so I might leave it on, just have it so I can pivot and get better access down to this back bit where the winch has to come out. So this is the back of the bull bar where the winch is stored, and we've got to pull it out through there. You can see this is where the nut retainer is up here for one of them. There's 4 bolts holding it on. I'll try to somehow support this in here while I take it off, so then I can get underneath and slowly lower it down, and that shouldn't be too much of a hassle. But the first thing to do is to disconnect the solenoid box and all the wiring from the batteries and all that. So it's just the winch in the bull bar, and hasn't got any obtrusions, and it's just these 2 bolts on this side. There's one down there. And then we'll get disconnected. Okay, so I've got the solenoid cover off, and as you can see it's pretty muddy and there's a bit of rust starting to form on some of these terminals, so that would make it not perform very well at all, and lots of this insulation stuff is starting to go as well, so it will probably need new wiring. But what I'll do is try to, because there is bolts that hold this plate down, but they are obtruded by some of the solenoid bottoms, so there's a whole heap of these little sort of tabs holding them down onto the plate, so I'll lift them up and that should be able to get them off. So I'll get this one, this one, there we are. Just got that. That's got that out. All good. Righto, so I definitely do think this is a factory installation of the spotlights and the winch itself, because they're both sort of intertwined into the same circuit, and I think that's why the lights haven't been working, because the winch power hasn't been connected, and I think it's stealing power from the winch. So there's even this kind of hooked up to this power line here, so I don't really understand what that's for, because that's one of the kind of the power going into the winch to say which direction it's going. But what I'll do is I'll tape these up and write something what they are, and I'll write the same number on these, same here, and then we'll pull it off. Righto, so this solenoid's block of stuff should just pull out now. I've disconnected all these, written up where they go, so I know later. And yes, let's see if this comes out. Alright, so there's still something here. This wire here. So we'll find where that's connected to the motor, I think. either that or we just cut it. I'm going with the cut method. There's only going to be one cut wire, so we might cut that. That's the cut wire. It's only a small gauge. So, yep, that should pull out now. So we'll undo these bolts here now. There's only two holding this plate down. Just so you know, all this American made winch stuff is Imperial. So these bolts are 7/16, and those ones holding on the terminals, they were 1/2 inch. And so if you don't have any Imperial spanners or sockets, go get some because you'll need it. Otherwise you could risk damaging the bolts with the wrong size sockets. So what I've done here is put these straps on there. Look, they're those motorcycle tie downs, and I've run them up around the bull bar and then round through the winch down there to hold it up, because it's only me. If you got two blokes, you could easily just get one bloke to go down there and hold it while the other one does it, but at the moment I currently don't have that luxury, so this will be more of a learning curve as well. See if it actually works, this method, and then I should be able to just press these a little bit and let it down at a time. I might need to put a bit of rope through here to hold it, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, so we're going to start taking these bolts off. Now what I've found is, for some reason, all these bolts are the same sort of bolt, but they're all different sizes. That's kind of really weird. Like, these ones are 15mm. This one is. This one down this bottom corner is a 5/8. And this one is a 14mm, and that's a 14 as well. Really strange how you find things like that. So I think someone else has put these on. They all got the same markings, just a bit dodgy. Let's see how tight these are. Not too bad. I'm also guessing this winch was put in this vehicle when it was new, so it was from the year 2000, and so I'm guessing that it probably would have had a steel rope on it with a proper fair lead on it, and then they put this synthetic stuff in later on, and they put this sort of fair lead on it. That's why I pulled it off during then. Alright, so I've got this fair lead off. I probably won't put this back on because I want to stick steel rope back on, so I'll have to get another proper roller fair lead for it. But now it's time to undo these ones at the top. Now you've got to be careful with this because this is where it's going to let go, and all the weight of that winch is currently being supported by these bolts. So you've got to be ready for that to drop in. That's why I've got these straps, of course. So let's see how tight these are. They probably look like a bit of tension on them. Not too bad. Alright, so what about this one? A bit of movement in the winch there. It's falling onto my straps. Just falling down. All good. So I've got this undone now, and as you can see, if I move this, that's all loose, and it's being supported by these straps. So what I want to try to do now is I'll go get some foam and put it down on the ground, so if it does crash land, it's not going to smash anything or break itself or break the pavers. And then I'll try to slowly lower it down on these straps. Bit where it's stuck. I'll try to clear these wires out. Righto, so it was getting stuck because it was rocking back on an angle, kind of locking in there. So what I've done is I've put another strap here in the middle, holding one of the crossbars on the winch, and we'll try to straighten it up and then push the bottom out, and then hopefully this will hang on to the top. This one into the gearbox and the motor, and yeah. So let's give it a look. One down a little bit. More. See that? Lift this one. Something else you want to do is make sure you don't have any of these cable ties sort of holding the wires in, and thus the winch as well, because otherwise you'll tear something. You don't want to do that. So I've got to undo these. I forgot to undo these. Yeah, and then it should come out hopefully. So you can see how far I've got the winch now. It's just got to, this has got to go over that ledge there, and the same on the other side. And once I've got those over there, the winch should just fall out. On this, I've got the angle a bit better. It's almost there. Just got this panel that I wanted to take away in the beginning, starting to be a pain in the arse. So I just have to flex it. No one's going to see it. So push it in as far as I can, and then hopefully squeeze the rest of the winch down with it. Always make sure when you're doing this sort of stuff that you're paying attention to other things. Like, this is what's stopping my winch from falling down with the actual strap I'm using, so I'll have to pull it up like this, and then hopefully it should come out. So I've got this out quite a bit now. As you see, it's hanging down there on that strap. And under there. Had to push this in quite a lot to get that to work, and but now it's, last thing is the good old clutch lever on there getting in the road. So I'll try to drop that end all the way down, and then I might be able to spin it around until it's in the right plate. So I've got it on the ground now. And what I've got to do is twist this until it gets to a point where that clutch lever isn't in the way, and then I should be able to just kind of leave it out, because it doesn't weigh that much. It weighs a bit, but I can do it like a man. So, righto, let's go like this. And that's the winch out. So here it is all out, and I've cleaned off these batters. As you can see here, it's a series wound motor, which are probably considered one of the best ones. See when it was all done, all its serial numbers. Here's the telling us what it is. So it is an M series, it is a XD9000, so that's good, because I hoped it'd be at least an 8000, which it definitely is. And there's also approximately
quite almost perfect for the Defender itself, because the general rule going, which I've heard, what I've read many times, is that you, for a self-recovery winch, you want a winch that is approximately double the pound pull than what the weight of your vehicle is. And the Defender weighs about 2,000 kilos or 4,400 pounds, and double that you get 9,000, so that's almost perfect. You can tell Land Rover thought about this when they putting these on their Defenders on their vehicles. So I'll pull this rope off. This rope is getting there close, focus on that. See, it's all frayed, not very good at all. It's probably alright for tying down stuff on the back of your ute or truck or whatever, but I don't think it's very good at all for towing stuff, or in fact using it for a winch. So I'll be pulling that off. I'll pull that off and then give it a clean up, and then we will finish the video up. So I've pulled all the rope off, and as you can see, it is very rusty, this thing here. I'm betting that it will need a replacement one of these fellows here, because I don't think there'll be actually much metal at all left on this once I buff all that rust off. So that really shows something. If you're using this rope, this sort of stuff, synthetic rope and all that, you got to make sure that it is dry. You don't leave it wet, especially if you're going through water or live on the coast or anywhere where you're getting any sort of minerals in there, which will really help the rust form. But you don't tend to get that with steel, because it just runs off and you've got oil all over it to stop itself from rusting, so it's not going to have any water sort of hanging around there. So these small bits aren't too bad, but this isn't very good at all. It'll be really interesting to see once I've buffed that off. But yeah, so a lot of rust. But it'll be good to get this apart and see what it's like on the inside, then test the motor, because hopefully they're all good. But this isn't, and this is probably one of the reasons why it hasn't been moving. Plus, I'm not sure if the clutch mechanism is working as such. It's still locked in there. So, righto. And that's how I removed my winch. So, basically, there will be a part 2 to this, and in part 2 I'll be testing these solenoids, testing the motor and pulling it to pieces, and basically seeing what parts I need and how much I need to spend. I guess there's one bonus though: free rope! And remember to subscribe to my channel for more. You can subscribe to it over here somewhere, or down the bottom below the video, and you can see previous episodes on this tab here, thingy, around here. It should be around here somewhere. Previous videos. It's got my introduction vids, and that's basically it. So subscribe, and I'll see you later. It's grill time! Whoa.